Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
When I was a kid, I was like, oh, the more the exhaust pipes, the faster the car. So this thing's gotta go so fast.
What do we have here?
A Formula One car. I can get down with that.
I'm getting down with it. Jeez.
The steering wheel's worth more than your car.
Formula One, Aston Martin, Red Bull. Look at the wheels on that thing, like. All right, we have the Aston Martin shooting brake, Zagato shooting brake wagon. There is 99 of these in the world. In the US, I'm not even gonna take a guess because probably very little of those 99 actuals, but it is a wagon. Would you just check this out?
So come over here, guys. Here's the convertible version of it. They created 4 different versions of the Zagato: a coupe, a shooting brake, a roadster, and a convertible. And so 99 of each. They're all only one of 99. Very few people have all 4, but this one is awesome. I would take the shooting brake over any of them.
This is god awful.
Wagon.
Really?
Wagon gang, baby. Wagon.
This is what somebody like Kobe would design. I mean, really?
I'm a completely reasonable human being.
It's got a nice speed tail on the back. You know?
What are you looking at? This is god awful. It's a hearse. It's a racing hearse.
How much do you think the aero kit costs?
On this?
Yeah, just the splitter,
30K.
canards.
No, 45.
45.
Yeah.
30K.
28.9.
Thanks for coming.
You get a splitter and a wing.
I failed.
Some carbon fiber. It's pretty expensive. However, that repeat though. Follow me to my Aston Martin. Just kidding. It's the 4-door. It's a 4-door V12. This is advancements in
Are you filming?
America.
Turn around. Folks, really, we're about to walk over to the biggest waste
Watch your profanity.
time you've ever seen in your life. This back seat could barely fit a freaking amputee in it.
This has the same amount of back seat space as your A7.
Yeah, I like it.
No, the
Oh
A7
crap, look at the back. Forged carbon Aston Martin. Twins.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, if you cut the front off and you're just looking at the side, it looks like a Fisker. Tell me I'm wrong. Right now.
2 words.
Or a Tesla. Look,
2 words.
Tesla.
Kicked out of it.
2 words. V12 sedan.
It's sick.
Do you need more?
I want to see these lights, how they work. That's what I was saying earlier. It's forged carbon. This is sick. Carbon fiber hood.
Aston Martin Racing. V12. 4 seats.
If I'm gonna do a V12 sedan, it's gonna have Mercedes.
AMR.
Why would you get a Mercedes-Benz motor sedan?
Look at this. Hey, look at this. Forged carbon emblem on the rear too.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Oh, she's a beaut. Look at that diffuser.
Look at this. I like it, Steve. I don't know why you're getting all pissy about
Look at the
it.
back seat.
Because he's an old man.
He doesn't like the back seat because you're sitting in it. You don't like it. I like it.
It doesn't have a lot of rear seat space. I'll admit it. But it has a V12. There you go.
Hey, Kobe, sit in the front seat. Adjust the front seat.
I like the backs. The backs, they look pretty comfortable if we're going to be honest, right?
Look at all that carbon.
Forward.
Look at all that carbon.
I mean, it is sick.
The full carbon trims and everything.
I'm telling you right now.
Open the front up.
If someone was sitting in the front seat in a normal seating position, the back seat,
There's nowhere, no room.
gone, bro.
I don't know. I think I could do it.
You want to try it?
I may have to eat my words right here, folks.
Oh, no.
Nope, see, there's no way.
Oh wait. No.
Boom.
Put both feet in.
Put the seat where it needs to be for you to drive it.
What do I
Now
just...
granted, folks, Kobe's 6'5", so that's a little bit taller than the average person who's going to be in the car. But now look.
Okay, now Steve, hold the camera. Let me hop in the rear. I think we could pull it off, like I really do. Ow. Oh no, not a chance.
Yeah, you want to drive all the way back to northern Utah with that?
I don't even want to sit in the seat to drive back, because when you shut the door, like, dude, I'm getting claustrophobic already.
Yeah, I rest my case. Thanks for coming. Drive safe.
I'm good to go.
Get me out of this.
Here's the best part, the exit.
Look at that steering wheel. When's the last time you had a four-door sedan with a square steering wheel?
That's true.
And look at that carbon fiber tunnel. I mean, come on, this thing's a beast.
The tunnel is sick, and it goes all the way through, guys. Clear to the back. Pretty impressive.
This is a monster. I get that it's not the most spacious thing, but I'm 6'5" and Foster's easily 6 foot. We have two big, fully grown men trying to climb into this thing. Most cars we cannot fit well in.
Look, rear trunk space.
Trunk space.
I don't know what this wall's doing.
Oh, this is.
Oh, it comes out.
No, this is sound deadening for when you put your air ride right here.
Got a little nice handle to pull it down.
Carbon fiber, just a slight little carbon fiber lift. This thing, I mean, look at that diffuser. When's the last time you saw a sedan with that big of a diffuser?
I do like the carbon fibers in the lights.
Yeah?
These trim pieces.
Dylan would love this thing.
Dylan, this one is for you.
For that Aston Martin shooting brake over there, it's actually a relatively good bargain. We're only looking at $919,000. So
night.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Okay guys, so we got a question from one of you guys, and I think it's gonna be interesting to have this debate. So what supercar company do you guys think will go fully electric first?
I think I know the answer, but I'm going to let Foster answer this first because it's going to hurt your feelings.
To be honest, I really think, ooh, this is a hard one. I'm gonna have to go with Porsche. For the reason being, they've done a lot of hybrid cars. The new Porsche Taycan's all out, coming out, and I just think they're all on board for it. I think they'll be the first ones. I just think so.
I think that there's too many enthusiasts and too many traditionalists involved in Porsche that I can't see that happening. Kobe, what do you think?
So I think, here's the thing. Porsche has made movements to become fully electric in the sense that they have the Taycan, which is
true.
They're the only supercar company with a fully electric car out right now.
Correct.
Right?
That's
so
why I think they're gonna be the first.
But if we look back at the 911R, this was supposed to be the last manual 911, right? Purists were not happy about that. So Porsche now still builds manual cars. They went back, proving that they care about the purists and care about what people want with their cars. So I think that they could stick with their combustion engine and that flat six because they know that's what people want.
Well, that's the reason why my answer would be the one that you probably already know, but when I said it's going to hurt your feelings, I honestly think Ferrari will be the car company that goes fully electric first in the supercar, hypercar world. The biggest reason being is Ferrari doesn't ask what you want, Ferrari tells you what you want. And so it'd be very easy for Ferrari to make that switch, make that decision for you, and then basically just say, well, it's still a Ferrari. You can take it as it is. And whereas if you look at the way, you know, Lamborghini listens to their enthusiasts and their following, because we still have manual V12s, or not manual, but V12s still in the lineup. And then Porsche, the one thing Porsche's done that I think kudos to them, they've taken a situation where they know there's a demand for electric vehicles. They know electric is a, you know, quote unquote future that we're getting into. Yeah. It's still debatable because of, you know, whether or not that's the cleanest way to actually have vehicles on the road.
Oh, completely.
But they've taken and created a separate hand over here and kept the traditionalist hand over here. So it's almost like it's two companies underneath the same umbrella catering to both aspects of it.
I could see it being Ferrari, but also, I don't know, they're still making V12s, they're still making V8s. They're not doing anything to show that they're gonna start conserving. And I'm gonna go and kind of throw a curveball. I'm gonna say Pagani. I think they already outsource their motors. And so outsourcing from like Rimac. So Rimac, the people that put the motor, that provide the drivetrain for that Pininfarina Battista that we just saw at Sunset GT, is an electric car or electric motor company that's providing the electric drivetrain for the Aston Martin Valkyrie. And will continue to provide electric, like they sell their drivetrains. They don't just sell cars.
Yeah.
So I think you could see Pagani going to them and creating an electric Pagani, because I mean, really, people don't drive Paganis all that much. And so just having one that's electric that still looks good, but is electric, makes sense. So I think having the electric drivetrain in a Pagani could make sense, because it's not necessarily a driving car. It just looks good.
If we're going to like boutique car builders and like, you know, not one-off, but more of a specialty type car, I thought we were talking about the big three, because technically, if you just want to talk about that, then there's an easy answer. Remac's already done it.
Yeah, but they didn't go electric. They are electric. And so I don't think that counts.
But my point is, like, I understand what you're saying, because you're saying anyone who manufactured a combustion engine now becoming an electric car manufacturer. I don't know, like, because when you get up into the big boys, anyone can do it, because at this point, they're kind of in the same. Well, I don't think Koenigsegg will either, because of the situation that Koenigsegg's in. They're like Bugatti. They're a manufacturer that's trying to build the fastest combustion engine car that they possibly can.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's their investors. Their investors don't care for the electric cars.
Absolutely.
And so they're going to invest in the sense that they're going to put their money where the cars they want are, and if it's not there, they're not putting their money there.
So essentially, they are doing exactly what we just said that Porsche is doing, where the enthusiast and the actual like traditionalist of Porsche, they've created that arm where it's like, nope, this is all we're doing. It's going to stay that way. It'll be traditional Porsche. And the only difference is that they're not in a situation where they can create a separate arm to fund the electric guys, because of the fact that, I mean, let's be honest, Paganis aren't cheap to build. So it's not like you can just go out there and say, oh, you know, it's $100,000 to build another car. I mean, we're talking, Pagani goes for millions of dollars. So
$2.5 million, and you don't even get wheels.
Yeah, and it's not like you can just make this decision of, oh, you know, the electric guys want one too, so we're going to invest, you know, probably upwards of $10 to $15 million to build the original car, to get the R&D behind it, and then what are you going to charge the people who want them? I mean, upwards of like $8 to $10 million, or you know, $8 or $10 million to create a profit margin for them, and even so, not one of your investors, the original investors, who are all like deep-rooted car guys that love engines, none of them are interested.
Yeah.
So there's really no point whatsoever for Pagani to get involved in.
See, but I see Pagani doing it in the sense that they're a collector car, not necessarily a driver's car. The Koenigsegg was built to be super fast and just amazing all around, whereas the Pagani is just pretty. Like, that's literally it. The engine in it is not that impressive. Correct. It's almost the same as an S65 AMG. I mean, which is impressive. It's a twin-turbo V12, but they don't run very well, and no one really drives them.
The Pagani, exactly. Pagani was designed to be art. Let's be honest. It's moving art.
It's a lot easier to move art electrically.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I have a hard time ever seeing that being the situation, just because of the fact that the people who are purchasing Paganis are not purchasing Paganis to get an electric car.
But perfect example, Manny Koshman hadn't put fuel in his Pagani Huayra
you're not wrong.
in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's worse to let your combustion engine sit there for 3 years than it is to have an electric motor sit there for 3 years.
Well, yeah, because an electric motor, you just walk over, unplug the piece,
Watch your profanity.
fire it up and go.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. I get that people aren't buying Paganis to be electric cars. Sorry about that, guys. Other camera died. We had to move to this camera. But basically, just to finish off what I was saying, Pagani owners aren't buying the car for the motor. They're buying it for the art of it. And so I don't think they really care what motor's in it. I think they just care to have the car looking good. And if it doesn't even move, it doesn't matter what it runs on. You know what I mean? To them, at least.
Yeah, but in that sense, I mean, if you're going to take that route, then why not just build a Pagani with no motor in it? put a fake one in there.
There is the guy in Florida that has a Pagani's on the R on his wall.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a little jealous of that because that's pretty sick.
That'd be dope. Just
That's
have it
some
on
art.
your wall. Okay, now let me ask you this question, guys. Now, we've talked about who do you think will be first. Can we all agree the last person that will switch will be Lamborghini?
No, I can't. I don't agree with that.
Nope.
Why? And why?
Volkswagen Auto Group.
Here's the reason why I don't think that will happen.
Oh, yeah, I gotta hear it.
Lamborghini has already talked about in the next 5 years possibly building a GT style car that will be all electric. The reason why they will build that car is to keep the V12 alive. You guys know that the carbon trade-off for manufacturers, that all electric car would give them the offset to be able to keep the V12 alive. And the V12 is the heart and soul of Lamborghini. So that's why I think that would be.
Okay, so to explain what the carbon offset is, basically the way that it works is car manufacturers, the way that their emissions are like tracked and dealt with through the government is they take all of their cars and see what they create emissions wise. So if you create one car that makes like no emissions or little to no emissions or less, then that allows you to build another high emissions engine. So like back a couple years ago, Aston Martin built basically a smart car because all their cars are V12s or naturally aspirated V8s. And so we'll show a picture of the Aston. It's really weird. They built that purely for the offset. And so that's why Lamborghini would be doing this, and that's why there's a V8 in the Urus, is to offset those emissions. And so that's where that comes into play, and I think Ferrari gets away with it because they're under Fiat, and so they have like that entire overlay. But that's why they would be doing an all-electric car, and also because there is a market for it. But it allows them to also build a V12. So that's
Foster, to answer your question, I think the real answer is McLaren. McLaren will be the last one to go fully electric because they can't even get electric right now.
Well, here's the question: will McLaren be around?
No, that's a great debate because, let's be honest, McLaren has overproduced so many cars right now with the mindset. I get why they've overproduced because they have to create a generation of vehicles. But the problem is that when that generation runs out and people get sick and tired of buying subpar performing cars in the sense of the electrical issues, all of the check engine problems, I mean, we all know every freaking McLaren that's out there has some sort of code that will go off literally every time it's fired up.
Basically.
And it's going to get to the point where I think the McLaren owners are going to say the performance doesn't outweigh the headache.
Totally.
And so you're going to see a huge shift in the McLaren world where people just give up on McLaren. And I think that's the biggest challenge McLaren has to try and overcome in the next, I would say, probably 10 years.
If we are including hypercars in our debate of electricity, I say last ones to go will either be Bugatti or Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg, they've already gone hybrid with the Regera. It has a hybrid drivetrain. This car right here. They have hybrids in their car, in that car right there. But Bugatti has never been a car that was made to fit in. It has never been a car that was made so that people would buy it because it was like, it's never been something that like there's a market for it. They created their own market. So you look at like the Veyron, like Volkswagen Auto Group lost money on every single production of the Veyron. Like everyone they sold, they didn't make money off of it. It was just to make it.
Well,
and so that shows
it was their way of creating that market of you.
Yeah, it shows the passion behind it. You look at the Chiron, they just broke the world speed record for a production car with over 300 miles per hour. They're not doing this to join on the next trend, they're creating their own trend. They are the Bugatti, because everyone knows what a Bugatti is. Whether you like cars or not, everyone knows a Bugatti is the best of the best. And so I don't see them making a car that's electric to fit in. Like, I can see them maybe going hybrid, but I think they'll stick with their W16 or at least a V12 or maybe even a W12.
Yeah,
so I think in
the hypercar world for sure, you won't see a switch in the Bugatti world. unless they can figure out a way, and it would be a hybrid in my opinion, where Bugatti would get involved with electric at all.
Totally.
Because I honestly think the only thing that they even would remotely be interested in the electric side is to gain the raw torque on the low end to project the car faster.
But I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot torquier than what they're already at. That's the thing.
I was going to say a mix between that and, I mean, let's be honest, throwing the car that much faster, there at some point there's going to be a top speed that we can't beat.
No kidding. And actually, electric cars don't aid you in top speed. So perfect example, Porsche 918 Spyder is a hybrid drivetrain. It has a naturally aspirated V8 and a hybrid system. And it is the quickest car 0 to 60, but after 60 miles per hour, the electric motors completely shut off. Yeah. They're no longer in use. There's nothing there for them. And so it's literally just for that low end. And so then it just adds weight, hence why it doesn't have the highest top speed. So it's just, I don't know, I don't see Bugatti going electric because it doesn't benefit what they want to do.
So that's what we think, guys. Comment below, let us know what you guys think. What is the next one? Who's gonna be electric? Who's gonna shock you? Stay tuned.
Don't forget, like and subscribe.
Peace, guys.
Oh, would you look at that? Krispy Kremes. Oh my.
Was this for their Cars and Coffee that they canceled?